Greeting interwebs, this is Jack King, and welcome to Fire Emblem Awakening. Not planning on doing a full playthrough of this game anytime soon, but I was planning on showing off some moments of the game through videos in the future, so I decided to start off making a guide for you guys, just to go over the basics of the game, because it can be fairly complex, especially if you're jumping right into it. I know from experience. So say what you want about this being the blind leading the blind, but considering I played for the entire game, I feel like I got a shot at this. Now, the whole case of Fire Emblem takes place on these battlefields. The enemies you often run into most for sakes of grinding are these things called Risens. And if you played a tactical RPG before, like Final Fantasy Tactics and Pokemon Conquest, you pretty much know the main mechanic of select units, move them. Once you move all your units, the foes move there, rinse and repeat. This is a screen that you go into before the battle, which allows you to do your preparations. Now, early on in the game, which I'm focusing this introduction on, there's only 3 things I need to explain. Selecting your units. Each map allows you to have a certain amount of units, and you usually want to study the terrain and the enemies that are on it to decide what units are best to bring into battle. I already took care of that in advance for your convenience. In the inventories, you can go through all the items each of your units have and equip them with the proper needs for attacking, defending, and so forth. And the map is where you make your observations. You can check out how far a unit can attack, their basic stats, and so forth. The rest, I believe, is better explained within action instead of just with pure word. So let's begin. So like I said before, you start by moving all your units and then they move theirs. You move a unit by selecting it, and then dragging it to where you want. Blue represents where they can move, red represents where they can attack. I can trigger this thing on and off to see the range that all the enemies can go. If a unit is in the red at all, they'll be able to get attacked. So I think I'll start by moving her out of the way of danger. Very important considering the type of unit she is. And see if there's anyone that can move into offensive range. Yeah, here we go. Now often it's very important to think out your moves before you make them, because if you lose a unit in classic mode, they're gone for good. Now I'll get more into it later, but having units next to each other is beneficial. Here in the attacking screen, I'll introduce you to the whole concept of the weapon triangle. It's basically a rock, paper, scissors based on your basic weapons. As you can see, the enemy has a lance, so when I go to attack with the lance, it's normal. If I were to attack with a sword, you can see that the odds of him attacking my unit increase and me attacking it decrease, as well as the damage if it's not already a stronger weapon like this silver lance is. When I have the advantage in a weapon triangle, be more likely to attack, and it's less likely to attack me. So it may seem the silver lance is the best option, but if I want to avoid damage, maybe I would want to attack with the axe. You can see the weapon triangle goes sword beats axe, axe beats lance, and then lance beats sword. So let's just make the move. When units are next to each other, they can support each other within battle. As you saw right there, Chrome got an attack in, even though he wasn't the one attacking, because they were next to each other. Along with attacking with weapons, units can also attack with magic if they have the ability to use tomes. Unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case in this particular turn. Someone like Viridian is an archer who can attack from a range as well. However, he cannot attack if an enemy is directly next to him, while magic users, on the other hand, can attack from a range and right up close. Who do I want to move? Yeah, you seem a bit lacking in experience, so why not? These sparklies do have a chance to raise your experience up, but it can also improve the proficiency of your weapons, and you can occasionally gain items from inside them. If you have units paired up with each other, you have the possibility of gaining support between them. I'm going to go over pairing up in the relationships now. As you saw when I moved Sarah right next to Morel, there was an option to pair them up. so now they're together. The unit in front is the one who will be most likely to attack. However, it's like being next to each other. A unit does have a possibility of attacking alongside you.
I think not.
Oh yeah, when units are next to each other or pair up, they also have the possibility of defending each other. And when they either defend together, or when the units attack, they have the possibility of, they'll build up a relationship with each other, if that's allowed by the game. Certain units can build up support with each other, and through that, they'll gain better abilities when paired up, assuming you upgrade their support. To clarify something I was talking about before, in Fire Emblem, if you're playing on Classic mode, when a unit loses all their health, they're pretty much considered dead. If they need to be alive for the sake of the plot, they'll retreat, but they'll never join your party again. They're gone for good either way. In casual mode, they'll come back at the end of the match. Now here's the thing about support. As you can see, when I select Sarah, this guy has the letter C next to him. That means they have a higher support together. If Sarah and this unit were to pair up together, instead of being paired up with this unit that she does not have support with, she'll be more likely to attack for him, defend him, and the unit will just do more damage in general. As you go through the games and battles, you'll get the opportunity to build up supports among units. Not all units can gain support among each other, but the ones who can will be real beneficial to have that support build up. So now I can properly show Viridian. You can't attack units that are right next to him, only once they're one away. That goes with enemies attacking him as well. If they attack from range, he can retaliate, but if they attack right up in his face, he cannot.
I am legend.
Now, Lisa is a special unit because she has staffs and nothing else. Staffs are very much for supporting. The majority of them allow you to heal ally units, but occasionally they'll have other abilities like getting a unit away from danger or raising your staffs. Well, as you saw there, as you use weapons, their weapon skills will improve. As you improve a unit's weapon level, they'll be able to use stronger weapons. And you improve a unit's weapon build by either using that type of weapon in battle, using particular items, or getting it from a sparkly. Now, each unit has their own strengths and weaknesses, although they can be upgraded into completely different classes later in the game, so I don't want to go into too much detail. For one, I'll say like Pegasus Knights. Pegasus Knights can move a lot, and they have resistance to magic, although they're fairly vulnerable to attacks. Plus, someone like an archer does double damage against them, and they also have weaknesses to types of weapons that attack beasts, because she is riding an animal. This is how units with staffs work. You take the unit, move them up to the character. There'll be an option to choose the staff, and the unit will heal the other unit. More advanced staffs will allow you to heal and do other side effects from a distance, though the very basic healing one does not. As units battle and gain experience, they'll eventually be able to level up. Anywhere from 1 to all the stats can be improved, though the exact formula varies between characters and classes. Obviously, as their stats improve, they'll be more effective in battle. A unit like Gnome is very heavily armored, so as you might guess, they can withstand physical attacks a lot. But they do have a weakness that certain items can exploit and do double damage. They also tend to have poor resistance against magic. Now I want to go over the different stats that can be improved within a level up. Strength is your basic physical attack, which your weapons are based upon. Magic is the base damage that your spells are based upon. Skill increases your odds of attacking a foe, as well as getting critical hits, which will allow you to do 3 times the normal damage. In this game, speed has a different effect than in most RPGs like Pokemon. The main factor of speed will be in determining how many times a unit can attack in a single turn. If their speed is significantly higher than the foes, then they'll be able to attack twice as much as they normally would. Speed also plays a role in determining if a unit will be able to dodge an attack or not. As you might be able to guess, defense will reduce the amount of damage a unit will take from physical attacks like a sword, lance, or axe, while resistance will reduce the damage they take from a magic-based attack. Luck has 2 primary focuses. It improves your chances of attacking a foe or avoiding them, and it can also reduce how likely a foe is to get a critical hit against your unit. And I believe that covers most of the basics. That at least covered the basics good enough for this video. The game does a lot better job if you're playing along explaining them. And I think I've explained enough for people watching along at home to understand what I were to do when I go through a Fire Emblem video. Just so I don't have to explain everything when I'm actually making the video. Oh yeah! Sometimes, if an enemy is holding a particular item, they'll drop it when you defeat them. Items that are droppable are usually indicated with green lettering, so if I were to defeat this unit, then I'd be able to get his item. Just like that. And as we finish up this battle, I am going to begin closing off. Thank you for your patience watching this. Don't fear if there was a lot going on at once. It is a bit of a complicated game, but the game does do a good job easing you right into it. I highly recommend anyone checking this out. So I believe that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, or at least learned a bit more about Fire Emblem for when I take on various other tasks in the game for the future, and just showcase the game in general. Well, thank you for watching through this, and I hope you enjoyed it somehow. If not, it'll make the videos coming up in the future when I showcase various things within the game a bit more enjoyable, since I won't have to explain everything. Anyways, this is Jack K, and I'll see you all later.